The Katy Perry situation just got worse. Sorry, what is this? Is this a Katy Perry song? Or is this some sort of bassline trap SoundCloud remix they're just playing while I browse?
The Katy Perry situation has reached levels of stupidity that should be studied by scientists. We're witnessing someone make the dumbest career decision imaginable, then watch it trigger the most hilariously predictable chain of disasters. Perry literally ignored every warning, made the worst possible choice, and then acted shocked when it all blew up in her face in the most spectacular ways possible. This woman had everyone telling her not to do something monumentally stupid, and she went, nah, I got this, and proceeded to nuke her entire career from orbit. It's like watching someone use a flamethrower to light a birthday candle. Technically it works, but holy crap, why would you do that?
He wants her to be happy and he wants her to be authentic. He just wants her to stop and enjoy the life that she has built.
You're about to hear how one unforgivably stupid choice triggered a comedy of errors that destroyed everything Perry had built. The best part? She genuinely thought this decision would save her career instead of obliterating it completely. Here's where Perry's pattern of terrible decision-making begins. This woman started as a Christian music artist singing gospel songs about faith and devotion. Her debut album flopped harder than a fish on dry land. So instead of improving her craft or finding her authentic voice, Perry made a calculated decision to abandon every principle she claimed to hold.
Why did Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom break up after 9 years?
She looked at her failed gospel career and said, let me become the exact opposite of everything I believed in. This wasn't artistic evolution. This was pure opportunism. Her breakthrough hit I Kissed a Girl was a calculated middle finger to her entire upbringing, designed to shock and generate controversy rather than express genuine artistry. This established Perry's core pattern: abandon any value, betray any principle, sacrifice any relationship if it might lead to fame. She became the human embodiment of I'll do anything for headlines. And this moral flexibility would eventually destroy her completely.
A lot of people have filmed her just sprinting around the stage. Alright, Mo Farah, calm down.
Perry's parents probably needed therapy after watching their sweet church-going daughter transform into a pop provocateur overnight. So Perry spent the 2010s building a feminist icon persona, collecting Woman of the Year awards like Pokemon cards and giving empowerment speeches. Meanwhile, her career was manufactured by producer Dr. Luke, who would later become the center of a massive scandal that would expose Perry's complete hypocrisy.
Just for herself, really. It was a selfish mission and everyone kind of saw through it. I did a full video reacting to that situation where Katy Perry basically said that this was a huge step forward for human.
In 2014, Dr. Luke got hit with serious abuse allegations from Kesha. The hashtag Free Kesha movement exploded across social media. Artists like Taylor Swift donated money to Kesha's legal fund, and Lady Gaga spoke out publicly. The entire industry was forced to pick sides between supporting an alleged abuse victim or protecting a powerful producer. Perry, complete radio silence for years. While other artists risked their careers to support another woman in crisis, Perry protected her relationship with the man who made her famous. The hypocrisy was staggering.
What you're doing is you're like really finding the love for yourself because you got to trust in yourself.
She'd spent years preaching about empowering women, but when it actually mattered, she chose chart success over justice. This wasn't staying neutral. It was actively choosing career preservation over basic human decency. Perry proved her feminism was marketing copy, not genuine belief. This betrayal would come back to haunt her spectacularly. Now we get to the moment that destroyed everything. After years of declining success and growing irrelevance, Perry announced she was reuniting with Dr. Luke for her 2024 comeback album, 143.
She says, sorry guys, you didn't pay that much. Like, you know, you don't get to see her boobs because, you know, well, you paid for the cheap seats though, didn't you? Right? So you're not getting to see them.
Let me paint you a picture of how catastrophically stupid this was. Imagine someone who's lactose intolerant deciding to celebrate with a 3-gallon ice cream challenge. That's this level of self-destruction. Perry literally chose to partner with the guy at the center of abuse allegations to create songs about female empowerment. She was making a feminist anthem with someone accused of harming women. The moral bankruptcy was breathtaking. It's like hiring a fox to guard your henhouse and being surprised when you wake up to feathers everywhere. Everyone had warned Perry this would be career suicide. Her team, her friends, her management, probably her barista. Everyone told her this was the dumbest possible choice. But Perry decided she knew better than every single person around her.
How successful this album has been. Her tour, which has been taking the internet by storm because it's arguably one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
The lead single, Woman's World, was produced by Dr. Luke. The irony was so thick, it needed its own zip code. This wasn't just tone deaf, it was a complete betrayal of every value she'd claimed to represent. Perry's career desperately needed saving after her terrible decisions. So what's her brilliant solution? Sign up to go to space with Jeff Bezos for 11 minutes and pretend it's the most revolutionary thing since sliced bread. I cannot stress enough how absolutely ridiculous this was.
Sorry, is that a poop with like a hernia? Is that a hernia? Like a poop with sweet corn? Is that because sweet corn doesn't digest, does it, guys? So I think is this person, I have no idea.
Picture this. Perry floating around in a rocket for less time than it takes to microwave a burrito, acting like she just discovered gravity. She's up there for 11 minutes, and comes back talking about empowerment and inspiring women. Girl, I've taken showers longer than your space flight. Perry genuinely thought that floating around with billionaires for the length of a TikTok compilation would restore her street cred. The delusion was so strong, it probably had its own gravitational pull. But here's the comedy gold. Even Orlando Bloom was too embarrassed to support this cosmic ego trip. Sources say he called it cringeworthy behind closed doors. When your own man is face-palming at your life choices, maybe it's time for some self-reflection.
Making cryptic comments? Katy Perry, amid rumors she and Orlando Bloom are on the rocks.
The song was about to wake up and this Tim Tam saved me.
That's Katy on stage in Australia as Orlando reveals who he's leaning on half a world away.
He's a real emotional support animal because I'm very emotional right now.
The internet absolutely destroyed her for this stunt. Memes comparing her to actual astronauts, jokes about her groundbreaking 11-minute contribution to space exploration. She became the human embodiment of, I went to space and all I got was this lousy meme status. The 143 album was exactly the disaster everyone predicted, except somehow worse. It debuted at number 6 with pathetic sales of 48,000 units. That's like selling tickets to a Taylor Swift concert in a phone booth. For context, that's roughly what unknown indie artists move these days. Absolutely humiliating for someone who used to sell millions. Critics demolished Woman's World. The Guardian gave it 1 star and straight up called it garbage. Pitchfork didn't hold back either, calling it unfathomably tepid. Even her most devoted fans were like, girl, we can't defend this one. The song bombed so hard it didn't even chart properly. Within 2 weeks, the album had vanished from charts faster than free pizza at a college dorm. The funniest part, Perry seemed genuinely shocked by the reception. She really thought people would forget about the Kesha situation and welcome her back with open arms. It's like showing up to your ex's wedding and expecting them to dump their new spouse for you. When criticism hit, Perry tried to defend the collaboration like she was arguing that water isn't wet. The mental gymnastics were Olympic level. Perry's Lifetimes tour became a masterclass in performing for ghosts. We're talking about venues that were emptier than a politician's promise. 70% unsold seats, Perry was basically doing very expensive karaoke for herself. The production featured inflatable props, bizarre sci-fi themes, and Perry running around like she was being chased by invisible bees. It looked like what would happen if someone let a toddler design a concert with unlimited budget and zero supervision. The fan footage was brutal but hilarious. Perry performing elaborate choreography for maybe 20 people scattered across arenas that hold thousands. It was like watching someone give a TED Talk to an empty auditorium while pretending the acoustics were just really good.
Katy's recent album got released. It's called 1432. Now we're going to have a look at the streams of how that's done later in this video. And to celebrate the release of her new album, she released a tour called the Lifetimes Tour, and she's currently going around the globe performing it.
She's fighting latex monsters and singing to sections covered with tarps because they couldn't pretend the venue was full. At some point, Perry was probably wondering if she was being punked by her entire career. The whole thing became instant meme material, not because people were enjoying it, but because the absurdity was off the charts. After 9 years of watching Perry make questionable choices, Orlando Bloom finally reached his breaking point. In June 2025, Orlando called it quits. The timing was perfect in the worst possible way, right in the middle of her disaster tour, with her album Forgotten and her reputation in shambles. Perry spiraled on social media, posting motivational quotes that sounded like someone trying to convince themselves they're fine while their house burns down. She disabled comments faster than you can say damage control. The final insult came when Orlando attended Jeff Bezos' wedding without Perry, who was stuck performing for empty venues in Australia. What makes this absolutely hilarious is that Perry brought every disaster on herself through one spectacularly stupid decision. She had every warning, every opportunity to avoid this mess. Instead, she chose the one path guaranteed to destroy everything she'd built. Perry made one unforgivably dumb choice, working with Dr. Luke again, and watched it trigger the most predictable series of hilarious disasters. The space stunt became ridiculous because she was desperately trying to distract from her moral bankruptcy. The album failed because she'd betrayed her fan base. The tour bombed because she'd alienated everyone who used to support her. The numbers tell the story of complete self-destruction. Album sales that would make unsigned artists feel sorry for her, empty venues, streaming numbers that barely registered. Meanwhile, artists like Dua Lipa and Olivia Rodrigo are creating actual cultural moments, while Perry fights inflatable props in empty arenas. What's truly comedy gold is that Perry still posts inspirational content, like this is just a rough patch instead of the complete nuclear destruction of everything she built through one catastrophically dumb decision. So what do you think about Perry's masterpiece of self-sabotage? Did you see this disaster coming the moment she announced the Dr. Luke collaboration? Can someone recover from this level of self-inflicted damage? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed watching this spectacular train wreck, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.